Before we get into today's episode, I just want to give a shout out to Ryan Shipley and Hondo Supply for helping us out with the graphics. I really appreciate both of you guys. Next time you're in the basement, pizza rolls on us. Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by 3Chi and Barstool Sports. I am your host, Robbie Fox, and today we are bringing you the first Barstool basement movie night. I don't even know what to call these. We're doing a movie commentary, which we've done before, but we've never done them in this setting on YouTube. The first of which will be Batman 89 with my brother, Mike Fox, and of course, Clem, who is always down here in the basement with us. This is one of my brother's favorite movies. One of the movies that I would say made you love nerd culture and Batman and comic books. Probably the basis. This is like the start of all of it, which went on to be the start of all of it for me. Like I've got Batman tattooed on my arm right now. If you don't see Batman 89, I might not be a Batman fan. So I'm excited to do this with you.
I had to get a little territory back, a little bit of basement territory back because, Clem sort of took over and it's been awesome and I'm glad he did. But, in true romance, like when Clarence tells Drexel that he's married to Alabama now, and Drexel says, well, that makes us practically related. That's how I feel about you, Clem, now, man. Me and you are practically related.
When I signed on the Zoom, you hit me up with the welcome to the foxhole. And I was like, all right, it's going to be like that. But you're throwing true romance lines at me. I mean, this is love at first sight here. I said, the guy who brought Robbie into all our worlds, got him onto the nerd track, even though I think he would have figured it out on his own just based on how we all know him. But you definitely this is the origin story for Robbie's nerdum, it sounds like. So this is like the perfect way to kick off this little series Bob came up with.
It literally is. And this is going to fill the gap between Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which just wrapped up, and Loki. So for the next few weeks, we're going to be doing movie commentaries. We're going to have special guests. And the way it's going to work is you're going to boot up the movie on HBO Max or wherever you have it, but it is streaming on HBO Max. So it's easy there. Pull it up, press play, and then go all the way back to 0 and press pause. I'll do a countdown. I'll say 3, 2, 1, click, and you're going to press play on click with the three of us. And then we'll do a movie commentary for the entire thing and kind of just treat it like a podcast, chill thing, kick back before we get into it. So while I redo this ad read, everyone pull it up on HBO Max now. I'm going to tell you about 3Chi. 3Chi is the industry leader in Delta 8 THC products, as I tell you each and every week. I use it every day. I love it. I swear by this stuff. All of these products are formulated by a biochemist. It's not like that Joker laughing gas that we're going to see later. This stuff is like actually CDC or whatever regulated. It's legal. It's federally legal, and it's available online at 3chi.com. They've got tons of products. We've got the cereal treats now, the brownies, the cookies, the vapes, the gummies. And remember, you got to be 21 or older to purchase. Use this responsibly. It's not just CBD. It is psychoactive. It does have THC in it. And as you saw from last week in The Office, 420, Frank the Tank was on it. Coach Doug's was on it. And it took them down. If it's taking them down, listen, don't be like that guy who thinks you're tougher than the sun. Use promo code MMB at checkout. You'll receive 5% off your complete order. And now I think we are ready to get into Batman 89. I am so excited to do this. I haven't watched this movie in a few months. My brother's seen this movie probably 10 trillion times. And Clem said he hasn't seen this movie in a few years. So it's going to be three like very different perspectives here. You guys ready?
I said decades, I think. I think it's been on.
Oh my God.
So it's been a long time coming. The full movie. So
yeah.
It's pretty good.
All right, perfect. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, click, and we're all going to press play on click. Ready? 3, 2, 1, click. And we're off. The Warner Brothers logo should be the first thing everybody sees. And I mentioned right before we went live, we've got a new Batman movie coming out next March. And it would just, I'm a sucker for the nostalgia. I'm a sucker for all that stuff. I know people look down on it now, the callbacks, but I would love that old school Warner Brothers logo as fan service in the beginning.
It'd be awesome.
Jack Nicholson getting credited before Keaton. That's got to be a demand, right?
Basinger.
Yeah.
Basinger.
All right. This might be the first little hiccup we have here down in the foxhole, because I'm going to call it the foxhole until we become a full-blown family here. Not a Tim Burton guy.
Not a Tim Burton guy.
Not a Tim Burton guy.
What a take that is. What are you talking about?
he always takes like old franchises and Tim Burton's, he weirds them out. Like what he did to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I know you're scorned about that. You like the book. You were a big book guy.
And my wife loves all Tim Burton stuff. I'm not like a creepy movie kind of guy. She loves the creepy movie kind of things. And that's his like thing. That's his bag, which I completely understand. But he kind of goes, I think he goes overboard sometimes with it. With again, this all goes back to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I readily admit, and I even think the second Batman gets a little weird. But this one, I mean, you can't really nitpick this movie. This movie was awesome.
Bro, you're talking to two guys that look like Tim Burton characters here, like the two skinniest white guys in the world. Like we're Tim Burton fans, my man. Look at the color we're wearing and you. Danny Elfman, who's got the score right here. This is the far and away best Batman theme. It doesn't get better than this. Setting the tone for a Batman movie. Come on.
And goes on to set the tone for Batman the Animated Series pretty much in terms of score.
Yeah.
The animated series, I think a lot of people consider, maybe the best interpretation of the character ever.
I'm definitely one of those people that grew up with the animated series, grew up with you putting me onto this movie constantly. And I just like think about my childhood when I hear this song. I think about being like 3 years old in the living room with toys.
So coming up here, obviously that whole intro with the march, the Danny Elfman score, tremendous. We're getting a look at the bat symbol here. I thought we were in the cave when I first saw this. I thought we were going through the cave, and now it reveals the symbol. And
how old were you, by the way, when this came out, Mike?
This look at Gotham is my favorite look of Gotham ever. Like that feels like Gotham immediately. That skyline, that sky, the streets here. I was 3. Dad took me to the theaters because all we knew was fucking Adam West, and it was all like pow and and it was fun and silly. And he took me when I was 3 to see this. I don't know if he would have taken me if he would have known what I was about to see here. It's like we got a nice little lost family here, and in a second here we're gonna get a nice look at our city streetwalker.
Yeah, this is Gotham City.
This movie is a little more raw than I think. I mean, when I saw it in the theater, I was like, holy crap. What the hell?
How old were you, Clem, in 89?
Shoot, I was 7. I was 7 years old, and I saw it in the theater. And we talked about this on one of our Falcon recaps. This movie, this was in theaters for like a year, more than a year, I feel. And then it came out on videotape like the next week. And I was like, or it might have been out on VHS as it was still in the movie theater. And it like blew my mind. I'm like, you can do that? And I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but I feel like that's what happened. It completely, I mean, this thing was such a monster hit. It might have changed the game. I don't really remember or no.
For those that don't know, I was obviously not alive. I was born in 98. But everyone talks about like the Batman mania. Do you guys remember that about it? Like everyone wearing Batman symbols on their chest.
That bat symbol was every fucking where, man. Everywhere.
Yeah, if you look at any photo from the Clem family, I am wearing a Batman shirt in it. And it's the same one. It's just like you said, just straight Bat logo on it. And I wasn't a diehard Batman fan, but it was just one of those things that just took over the world. It was like Simpsons shirts on Bart Simpson. Oh man, this is a fucked up scene. Oh my God.
By the way, I'm in kindergarten, and it was one of those like bad weather days where we weren't going to go out for recess. The lunch ladies wheeled the big fucking TV in on the stand and threw this in the VHS. Kindergarten, 5 years old.
And you're like,
watching
breaking the law.
I loved it because I'm like, Batman's sweet, but I got to be honest, if you showed this to a 5-year-old nowadays, you'd probably, you might be arrested for child abuse.
Why?
I love, by the way, you mentioned, Mike, the look of Gotham City in this movie, and I agree with you. Like, The Dark Knight's my favorite movie ever. I think the realistic Chicago look for that, like, was necessary, but I like Gotham City on a soundstage where you don't even know if it's like, is it the 40s or is it the 90s? Like, I don't even know
the time periods here, but it worked really well.
I like it. It's almost a fantasy land, but it's comic book land, so it doesn't matter. And by the way, I just gotta show everybody, I wore these pants for the commentary.
Nice. Clem did a nice touch of his own. He's got the bat signal aimed right at me behind me. Here it is. First look at our new Batman. Like I said, all we knew was Adam West.
And a Dutch shot there, kind of a tribute to the 66, right? Kind of that's what they call that, right? A Dutch shot when it's tilted.
Sounds like something from a porno.
These dudes, like, they really nailed the whole like drugged out mugger kind of like, this is some raw shit, man. Rewatching it all these years later, seeing it from a different light.
And they thought they must have been tripping seeing that shit coming at them.
And he looks like pretty fucking scary here. Like that's like monster movie stuff. Like you shoot the monster and he gets back up, which he should be terrifying to these guys. Little karate kick.
A little MMA action for you.
Yeah.
I wanted
look
that
at the utility belt.
He left the bat shark repellent spray at home.
Oh my God. Can you imagine how mad Disney must be so mad they can't get Batman and then just like market all his toys just to, I mean, billions.
Oh my God, yeah. Billions. We're 6 minutes into this movie and you already get that moment where it's like, oh, we're in. This is Michael Keaton, who everyone criticized coming in, right? Because he was the Beetlejuice guy. He made that up?
I read that the original line was, "I am the knight."
And he was like, fuck
he
that.
Got out there in the rubber and he was like, that sucks. I'm Batman. And it's like, that goes in the fucking trailer.
Definitely. Yeah, that's like, we're in. And Billy D, Harvey Dent.
I want to live in an alternate reality where we got to see Billy D. Williams play Harvey Dent and play Two-Face. I think that would have been tremendous.
They're doing the comic book now. Did you see that? They're doing the Tim Burton universe in comic book form. What would have happened? And they're gonna go forward with it. They're gonna bring Robin in and stuff. And the artist looks amazing. He's kind of combining this style with the animated series style.
I wish they would have wrote in some kind of way for him to have to say the word Chewbacca. I just always love the way he goes, Chewbacca.
I say that all the time with my brother. How you doing, Chewbacca?
Love it. Here's our first look at Jack.
I don't remember what Keaton was like. I feel like it probably was a little criticized because just going through his IMDb, obviously Beetlejuice, which was a great Tim Burton. I'm not going to, criticize Beetlejuice. I feel like Nicholson, once he was announced as the Joker, was just like the biggest story on the planet, if I remember correctly.
People were not happy about Keaton. People thought because of Beetlejuice and the comedy work he did, like, what is this going to be? Another silly, goofy, campy comedy? But Tim Burton said he always saw it in his eyes, in Michael Keaton's eyes, that he could go dark and go serious.
Even all these years later, like if you still pulled Keaton up there, I'm like, could he do it if I had never seen this movie? But he somehow just nails it. Someone with the suit and, like you said, the eyes, he really does just nail the role more than most.
When you say the eyes of Michael Keaton, what I think of right away is the scene in Homecoming when he's driving Peter to school and you can only see he's driving them to Homecoming and you could only see his eyes in the rear view window and he's playing that whole scene with his eyes. And it's like, yeah, he's a villain. And he's coming back as Batman
in the Solo pimp moment. He looked fine. Mask. That is his Han Solo. I know.
I wonder how people felt about it when they see that scene though. When you're like Jack Nicholson's playing the Joker, and that's the first look you get at him. You're like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Here we got our first look at Porkins, Red 6, standing by.
I love that we get the intro to both characters early. You get your Batman, you get the Joker, even though you still don't get a lot. It's like, I hate when they really make you wait for all that.
We're not even 10 minutes in.
Yeah. Our list comes bopping around. By the way, Mike, it is nice to know that comic book fans were assholes even in the 80s and complaining about everything without even giving it a chance. Like, it's not just a today thing or a recency thing. It's been that case forever. I could only imagine like in the 60s when they were just literally books and people were like, oh, they're doing this kind of ink this month. Oh, they've sold out so bad.
Do you think anyone looked at the Adam West Batman like we look at like Zack Snyder shit where they're like they went too violent just for the sake of being violent?
Once again, kindergarten, lunch ladies.
Yeah. You're full of shit and he throws the cigarette at him.
I like that Porkins sees this dude and immediately he's like, oh, this guy's going to bust my balls again. By the way, Porkins, Batman, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I mean, somewhere he's sitting in a bar and you could run into him and you'd be like, hey, what do you do? And he's like, I used to be an actor. And you're like, oh, yeah, anything I might have seen? And he's like, yeah, I was in Star Wars. I was in Batman. I was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. You'd be like, this guy's full of shit.
That really is crazy. He's one of those guys who, where is he right now? Is he living in the mountains? Just by himself, loving life? Crooked cops in Gotham, tale as old as time.
Classic.
Billy D, by the way, perfect casting as like someone you want to be maybe a sleazy politician that can get into office. He can talk his way into anything.
Yeah, he was a bit sleazy in Empire, man. He was working deals behind Han's back. I mean,
but at the same time, in a politician way, he's like, it was for Cloud City in the end. I got to look after my people, you know?
This deal's getting worse all the time.
I mean, I'm still torn apart when I watch Empire if I love or hate Lando to this day, right? Yeah. Putting the moves on the whole time.
Yeah, Bob the Goon.
Bob backing Jack up. Now, Bob was pretending to do one of those hobo windshield wipe deals, you know, like, no, I'm not with this dude. But then the second there's trouble, he's right over his shoulder with the pistol. Classic sideman.
Bob the Goon, the reason why Silent Bob has his name.
That's right.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Another great look at a Gotham-esque skyline there. Lots of like German and expressionistic and Art Deco mixing. Again, period mixing. Is it the 30s? Is it the 40s? Is it 1989?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that matte paintings all in the background, I assume?
Lots of matte paintings. They shot a lot of it, or I want to even say maybe most of it in England.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Very Ed Koch looking mayor. They're like, who's the mayor in New York City right now? Ed Koch? Someone who looks like Ed Koch. And they found him. We get a little Bob Kane cameo, not in the flesh here, but Arliss, you know, is getting fucked with at the office because he's buying into the Bat theory, and Cartoonist hands him this Bat painting and the little Bob Kane signature on
wow.
Bob Kane drew that.
That's really cool. And by the way, shout out to Bill Finger, who got fucked for so many decades. He was one half of that team and never got credited.
Jack Kirby, man.
Yeah, he never got credited. So shout out Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
And here we have our starlet. And boy, what a starlet she is.
You want to know what's so funny about Vicki Vale, Mike? The first thing that I think when I see Vicki Vale is being attracted to her as like a 3-year-old and being very embarrassed by that because girls had cooties and I didn't like girls. I like dinosaurs, you know?
No, we'll take all the Vicki Vale cooties, man.
But now, yeah, I look at Vicki Vale. I'm like, nope, that made sense. That was me becoming a man back then. Yep.
She likes bats too. Arliss is like sweating when he talks to her. By the way, Robert Wall, great actor, very funny. I don't mean to disrespect him, but I keep calling him Arliss because he's Arliss.
He has to wear that. You have to wear Arliss for better or worse. No disrespect at all, like you said. But
I'll never have anything where people are going to call me like Arliss for the rest of my life.
We were just talking about Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and we were calling her Elaine, and that's no disrespect, but like you're kind of Elaine.
Basinger, was she in 8 Mile? Was she his mom? B Rabbit's mom?
Yep,
that's her, right? Yeah.
Fun fact about 8 Mile, my brother played a gig in the place where the final rap battle takes place.
Really?
Yeah, the shelter, the basement.
Oh, shit. The basement. Hell yeah.
Jack Palance, legend. The man was in Shane, for crying out loud. He's got that old school feel, too. Once again, are we in the 30s? It feels like when this dude talks.
This is almost Mad Men-esque, too. This
and now we're getting another little peek. The purple suit comes into play now.
Yep.
Yeah.
He really did a great job early on of just easing us all right into what we know what was coming anyway.
Him looking in the mirror in the beginning, he cares about his looks, and she's looking at him like that. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Jack's like, did he just dress down my woman right in front of me? And did she just shoot him back a look? Like, We got a little, I believe, what they refer to as foreshadowing going on here. Nicholson barely even needed makeup to be the Joker. Look at that fucking grin, man.
I was gonna say he barely even needs to say anything to act. Like that look he's just given as he's sitting there flicking the card is menacing.
Dude, Jack just lived through the 70s and the 80s. I mean,
Just
he's
passed his
on
birthday,
all
by
of
the
it.
way. His birthday was this week. So shout out to Jack Nicholson. He's a legend.
Shout out Jack. He won't watch this.
Long
No, he's
time.
watching. He's a longtime listener. Yeah.
He was actually the 4,000 subscribers. So everyone get your shirts. We have our
Oh yeah. Thanks to everyone for helping us hit 4,000. We said on the podcast last week, like maybe we could hit it. We got like 400 that day when it dropped. So that was awesome. Buy the new shirts if they're still for sale by the time that this drops. There's a little copyright infringement on them, but don't tell Kevin Feige we said that.
if Disney hasn't acquired Barstool through legal ramifications.
Total douche move here, man. He put his number one guy, as he referred to him, on the gig, and then he's gonna dime him out right away. He calls Porkins up, and he's like, "Go arrest my man."
A lot of exposition, by the way, in the beginning for a Batman movie. Like I'm thinking of kids seeing this. I'm thinking of you as a 3-year-old, and like you had to be for the beginning. Like, all right, I saw Batman in the beginning, but where is he?
Yeah, they drop out on the 3-year-olds real long after that. And that just looked like a fun game. As a 3-year-old in theater, the roulette wheel, you're like, I'll play that. What's that? Can we play?
Mousetrap, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I'm thinking about taking like when I took my 3-year-olds to the movies. Like I took Sienna to see Last Jedi, and it was after I had my Last Jedi experience, no less. But I gave her a shot, and she was ready to leave after like the first 5 minutes because it was a little too scary for her. I couldn't imagine this. Oh my god, you made it the whole time, Mike? You no problems?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have so much. I feel like we didn't have so many options back then.
Yeah, it's true.
When Batman was, even just going to the movies was a huge deal as a kid. It was like an event. We're going to the movies, and it's Batman, which I loved because I was raised on the Adam West stuff. But this didn't scare me. It didn't feel like it went too extreme. It just felt more exciting to me at the time. First look at Bruce Wayne.
Such a great first line too. Just so suave. And Michael Keaton, talk about a comedy guy who they thought, could he pull off Batman? When you're playing Batman, it's not just playing Batman. You got to play Batman and Bruce Wayne. It's basically playing two roles. So impressive that he could get both. And first look at Alfred, who would become the Alfred in the next 4 Batman movies. He was the only one from the cast that stuck around through Forever and Batman and Robin. A great Alfred.
Great Alfred.
Pat Hingle. Pat Hingle was the only other one. He was Commissioner Gordon for.
Oh, was he really? Unreal.
Yeah, he lasted.
That's why we got you here.
Through the Clooney one. Yeah, so Commissioner Gordon and Alfred stayed the same for 4 straight movies.
A little confusing when you think of modern like movie universes. Now you would have people being like, is this a multiverse? Is that like, is he playing the same character from that character? Are these Batmen connected?
By the way, nobody would ever let a fucking newspaper reporter with a tape recorder near the commissioner, the mayor, and the district attorney at a fucking
while they're drinking. Yeah, while they're drinking at a benefit.
Who's ever working security on this detail is step into my office. Why? Because you're fucking fired.
I love my
80s hair in the back. Oh.
'80s hair everywhere.
Prom dress, that 80s prom dress on. Oh my God. You see, Gordon knows that Eckhart's a fucking snake.
Yep.
As soon as he hears Eckhart's in charge, he's like, oh, Jesus. It's like when the Shockmaster fell through the wall and Rick Flair sort of like, oh, God.
You slick dog, you taking her to the old armor room, the old night room.
These are shots right out of a comic book, right? You imagine opening a comic book and this is what Wayne Manor looks like in it.
Well, yeah, like instead of putting the giant Tyrannosaurus,
the big penny
in the background, he's like, let's just have an armory. It worked. I got to say, though, as a 3-year-old, it confused the shit out of me.
You're like, is Batman a knight?
This is that Tim Burton weirdness that Clem hates. It's starting to creep in a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. That got weird.
Mike, would you say Keaton's your favorite Batman? Yeah, right?
Keaton is my favorite Batman. Nicholson's my favorite Joker. This look of Gotham is my favorite look at Gotham. I mean, it's the one I, sort of had the biggest impact at such a young age on me.
Yeah.
And I dug the look of it in the next one in Returns, even though it didn't change much. It just got a little more grand, a little more extreme. By the time we're in Schumacher's Batmans, it's like a full-on fantasy world with the big, Roman god building dudes everywhere and the weirdness, which I dug too. I dug Schumacher's Gothams. I didn't dig.
I definitely loved them unironically, like when I was young, and now I love them ironically.
No, I thought I liked Schumacher, even when it got super silly in Batman and Robin. I thought the look of Gotham was still cool because it went more comic booky and extreme and vibrant, and it still worked, even though fucking George Clooney really just. Oof, let's not enjoy. We've been enjoying this. Let's not even go to. Sorry, I did that.
I'm a Batman Returns over Batman guy. I love Batman Returns, especially around the holidays.
Oh yeah, a lot of people say that. I could see that.
I just love how like fast it is. It's faster than this movie in that like every cut you're like, all right, now we're with the Penguin, now we're with Catwoman, now we're with Walken and the Mayor running, and now we're with Batman again. It's just a little more fast on its feet, which this one obviously has much better character development and lets everything breathe a little more. They're just different styles almost.
Vicki Vale's like, I'm oddly attracted to this billionaire. And he's like, I'm taping everything because I'm a bit of a freak, if you hadn't noticed by all my armor.
And he dresses up like a fucking bat at night.
Size of those video cameras. Mom used to have to hump one of those over her shoulder on every vacation, man.
I also love this look of Batman watching a bunch of video screens because we used to have the Batcave playset and it came with that, with the little stickers on all the video screens. And that was just like, Batman's watching over Gotham. Oh, a bank robbery happens. Go get him.
Yeah, the toys were great. That's another thing I remember about this is the toys were great. And I feel like it's because they didn't try to, rape the parents on product. You had 3 figures when this came out. You had Batman, you had Joker, and you had Bob the Goon. 1 Batcave, 1 Batmobile, 1 Batwing. So like, if you had a couple of aunts and uncles, man, you were getting the whole package deal on a birthday or on Christmas. It wasn't hard to have like the complete set. Like I feel like nowadays it's like, a new Star Wars movie comes out and they want you to be collecting. It's like, good luck getting all 74 of these figures for this new movie.
And the variant versions of them.
Yeah.
No, these toys lasted until I was a kid too. They were all passed down to me. The Joker, who you put in the freezer, the cold water, and the face changed his color. There was the Batman with the utility belt that sprung out and kind of worked as a grappling hook.
By the way, not since the Watergate break-in do I feel like there's been a group of crooks so fucking lazy with all their flashlights and their noise and their blowtorch. I mean, anyone looking anywhere is going to be like, hey, something's going on in that room.
I love these bullet sounds.
Yeah.
They're like the Nerf footballs of bullets.
And Jack's smart. He knows I've been ratted out here. I'm not hanging out for the gunfight. I am out of here.
Yeah.
Porkins grabs his megaphone. Red 6 checking in.
Look at those cop uniforms. Sexy right there.
Yeah.
Right? Leather in there or something. Jeez Louise.
Eckhart knows he's in deep shit. He's going to slunk out.
Not suspicious at all. Just gone.
Jack figures if I pull every lever and press every knob and turn every wheel, I'll get out of here in one piece.
This is what me and Clem have talked about, maybe in the Die Hard commentary we did, in that like every 80s action movie needs a scene that where they go in the back room of the back alley of a building and the pipes are bursting and there's smoke going off and there's levers. Like it's such a stereotypical environment, but it works every time.
This is what I imagine the boiler room in my middle school looked like when I was in class and the janitor would come in. I bet they're back there just dealing with smoke and steam and chemicals spilling out everywhere.
Great crescendo of the music as Batman arrives.
Being able to like make Batman kicking people's asses but not killing them, it's always like they always have that fine line they have to do, and that was a pretty good job introducing it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see some killing though, Clem.
Yeah, Batman does kill in this movie.
Does he kill in this movie?
Controversially, yeah.
Oh shit!
And in the next one, he goes as far as handing a villain a pipe bomb and walking away from him.
Yeah, we've got us a murderous fucking Batman here, Clem dog. Strap in.
Yeah, Tim Burton was like Tim Burton walked so Zack Snyder could run.
Maybe Tim Burton ain't so bad after all.
I love these camera angles, the above shots, the kind of tilted stuff. That reminds me of like the '66 Batman a lot.
These sounds are incredible. I am so
happy. What a back fist.
Shout out spinning back fist.
Shout out spinning back fist.
Once again, little monster movie tribute, you know.
Yeah.
In the shadows, just kind of lurking, waiting for his moment to come in.
Looks menacing without having to move his neck, which was like a joke they made in The Dark Knight, but it's real in this. You have to make him look
based on this, yeah,
and have him have a cowl, yeah.
Move his neck.
Kind of walks around like Darth Vader.
It's a good comparison.
Just that big presence.
I like the cape getting a lot of play too.
Oh yeah, he's a glider in this, like the Arkham games.
Yeah.
Right up off the feet.
That Jesus should be a reaction gift. That was great.
Classic moment. Nice outfit. Classic Jack.
The confidence, so good.
That's when you forget you're watching Jack Nicholson. He reminds you you're watching Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. And Batman disappearing like that for the first time too, which would go on to become one of the most iconic aspects of the entire character, always disappearing on Gordon and shit.
Nice shot, Jack.
That was a good shot, yeah.
Way down there. Bang! Bang! Like green.
And right in front of the police commissioner.
Yeah, right.
Oh, ricochet.
A true ricochet shot.
Yeah.
Which gives us our answer, you know, complete opposite of the Heath Ledger folklore. Want to know how I got these scars? We know how this dude's face got fucked up. He caught a ricochet from his own shot.
And Batman was involved. So, of course, you got a vendetta against that guy now.
And here we're going full tilt boogie all the way to send him into Jokersville. You know, when I was a kid, I remember having the Joker figure and asking Mom if we can get a green can of paint. She's just like, why do you want a green can of paint? Because I'm playing with my figures and I have something I want to try to accomplish.
You would have been so disappointed when you took that figure out and it was just green now. And you were like, oh, now I have the figure of a background assistant on a green screen shoot.
The Joker figure I had was cool. The one from the movie was cool. It had a tube you could squirt from his flower on his lapel. You could fill
nice
and squirt from the lapel. But the next one was cool because you can run hot water over the face and put it in the freezer again, and it would change from pale face to skin tone face.
I remember that one.
They don't do cool shit like that with figures anymore, I feel like.
This is before or after Terminator 2? Very Terminator 2 shot there.
Before,
yeah, that is very Terminator 2, though.
A movie that I watched for the first time very recently, by the way. What a great movie.
Yeah,
Missed out on that one.
Mike, you left some gaps in this young man's viewer history. I have to say that. Back to the Future. I don't know if he just missed them because he was watching this nonstop or what. But there's a few
Well,
things.
The gap was an age gap, Clem. I couldn't be showing him T2 when he was 3.
That's true. That's true. But like Back to the Future, come on, Back to the Future. I don't know how he missed that one.
That was actually that you'll love this, Clement. There was a marathon on today, and I threw Back to the Future on 2 on, and I watched it for like 45 minutes. It's like, oh, Back to the Future 2, shit. And now it's just a movie that I've seen.
If I ever want to feel really depressed, I remember that the future of that movie takes place 6 years from now, and then I just really, really sad with my life.
Rob, if you got an ad read, this fucking first date is about as boring a first date you could possibly have. So,
all right, I do have an ad read. Our friends at Bare Bottom are back, and I really do love this Bare Bottom stuff. They sent me another package recently, and this is like high quality clothing. It's comfortable stuff. You could wear it anywhere. You could wear it to bed. It's that comfortable, but you could also go wear it on a date, go wear it to a meeting, go wear it wherever you got it, maybe on a date like this one. Maybe not in Wayne Manor because you got to dress like a fucking Victorian to go here in the 80s. Bare Bottom is a little more trendy, and the return to travel's finally here. So before you start packing for your next adventure, don't forget to check out Bare Bottom. They've got adventure ready shorts. They've got the swim trunks that have the breathing. They stretch fabric, all that stuff, made to last. And oh, here's the deal. I lost it. The internet's best deal on high quality and versatile menswear means you can get 2 pairs of their best selling stretch shorts plus their antimicrobial and moisture wicking tech tee for under $100. Oh my God, the fucking shit they're making me say here sounds like it's out of the utility belt in Batman. Over 10,000 5-star reviews from guys have already made Bare Bottom threads their everyday go-to. Designed to transition from the couch to the gym and work to play and whatever you'd like to do. It's the only threads worth wearing all day long. I really sign off on that as well. And for every item purchased, they're going to donate a mask to a first responder. So you know you're supporting a great company as well. Our listeners will get free shipping on their first order of these super comfortable clothes at barebottomclothing.com with the promo code BASEMENT. So go to barebottomclothing.com right now. That's BEAR, like the animal, bottomclothing.com. Use the promo code BASEMENT. Free shipping on your first order. It's great stuff. I recommend the joggers. All right, back to the movie. We're back on this date.
It works if you're the Bruce Wayne or the Batman. I think it kind of fits all those parts of life right there. It's the beauty of the Bare Bottom.
That was a good. I like that catchphrase.
Now, what do we think about this food here? Like Wayne Manor, I'm expecting a little more than this. Like this layout here, I appreciate him eating with the help. That's nice. I mean, Alfred's obviously like the king of these movies, but I expect a little more when I go to Wayne Manor. Am I wrong on that?
I feel like, did they ditch was the soup going to be the main thing at that long ass table, and they thought it sucked, and then they went into the kitchen and they're like, Al, sorry, bro, can you whip up some steak and pasta for us right now? And he did. I mean, it's the least you can do is eat with the fucking guy when you're gonna make him whip something up on the fly like that.
And also, did they start that date and they were like kind of screaming to each other from across the hall, and they were like, do you have a closer table? We could just sit next to each other. We could talk to each other like normal human beings here.
Alfred set the long ass table, and Bruce is like, dude, don't you know what I'm trying to do here? I need to be close to this woman. You're killing me here.
Alfred's setting up for social distancing in '89. This scene used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. I used to not like this scene.
Oh yeah, this is a bad one.
This is the equivalent in this movie to the Empire Strikes Back torture scene where there's all those needles and you're like, what does all that shit do?
And shout out to the Simpsons because they did this. There was a Lisa Simpson like callback when they do this. I think when she gets braces.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
All time.
This is kind of like a Twilight Zone when they do the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I don't know if that's a really specific reference, but it's a great episode when the pig-faced people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this guy's a licensed surgeon. What kind of doctor would let his patient violently rip off the gauze he had got his face with?
Yeah, the place he's practicing out of, by the way, not the nicest.
I love the flashing neon though. Like, listen, I remember being in New York City at a very young age and throughout my whole life because of the family we have who worked there. And I remember in the late 80s and early 90s, New York City felt like Gotham. Like there's always a flashing neon light somewhere. There was always steam coming from the sewer, the manholes. The street always looked wet for some reason, even though it wasn't.
First Joker laugh there, and they hold off on letting us see him. Cool move.
I like that.
Builds that anticipation.
Vicki Vale doing a little slight wink, slight nod to Bruce, letting her know things are gonna get smooth here. Hey, my feet are killing me. Maybe we'll just take off my shoes and stop halfway up the stairs here.
Bruce Wayne with the glasses too. He's like kind of like an educated, nerdy Bruce Wayne in this one.
Grabbed by the tie. Listen, I don't know if either of you boys have ever had the pleasure of being grabbed by the tie by a woman. It is tremendous. And I just realized my wife's not allowed to listen to this podcast.
Clem, go put a tie on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
You're gonna go to bed tonight just with that hoodie and a tie on.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna get the first real complete look here.
And this is kind of the look they would go with in the 4th season of Batman, the animated series. When the adventure continues, they actually put the Joker in this hat and trench coat getup.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like the hat on him. I think it's dope.
The lighting here, just perfect lighting. As he takes one step forward, you get a little bit more of a look, another step, a little bit more of a look. You know it's coming. But
Yeah.
you're still trying to convince yourself that you might not know.
And this guy playing it, tremendous. Literally shaking.
Jack knows you got a gun back there, stupid. Tremendous reveal for our villain here.
That's like one of the best reveals in movie history right there. Maybe biased because we're watching this movie right now, but even with the circus music now.
Great score. Once again, Danny Elfman, this movie is 4 things, man. It's Tim Burton, it's Michael Keaton, it's Jack Nicholson, and it's Danny Elfman. Those 4 names all.
Elfman is as important to this as like John Williams is to Star Wars.
Absolutely. Yep. And dude didn't even think he could be a composer. Tim Burton goes to, oh, look at this. Bruce Wayne got laid. And he's doing that creepy watch her sleep stare. That's the dark side of him that, watches his parents murdered.
Yeah, that's the Batman in him. By the way, a scene is good when it caused the 3 of us doing a podcast right now to go silent. We just watched that Joker entrance.
Yeah, people are going to think their stuff crapped out.
Your feeds did not cut out. We were just captivated by Jack Nicholson's performance there.
And he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't cuddle. I'm tortured and dark. I can't cuddle. Maybe this is a perfect opportunity to slip away and hang up like a bat.
I know what will make her think I'm completely normal.
This is my favorite look of any Joker in any media ever.
You like the prosthetics too on the cheeks?
I love how he looks. I love the lighting. I love the furniture, the set design, the costuming, the lighting outside the window, the bullet hole still right behind his face there. That fucking grin he gives you right there. I mean, that is quintessential Joker visual right there.
And this Joker is a really good clown prince of crime. When we look at other Jokers, you look at like Joaquin Phoenix, I could never picture that guy as the clown prince of crime, organizing crime, like a gang leader. This Joker, I absolutely can. In a heartbeat, I can. I see him sitting at that, and I'm like, okay, he looks like a kingpin. In.
Because you have to find the balance between silly and intense. I love the Nolan trilogy. I mean, I think it's brilliant. I think it's you know, from start to finish throughout all three movies. I don't know if you could make a more perfect interpretation of the story and the characters, but there's an argument to be made that they're no fun.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
not many jokes in them.
and I want to have fun, man. And you know, like the Adam West version, the TV show is too far in the opposite direction. It's too silly. It's not dark enough. I feel like this is really a great balance. I feel like since Nolan kicked the intensity door open, everyone is just trying to run through it as hard as they can. Like now we've got a Batman who uses the F word, apparently.
Yeah, that was just, oh man,
Like,
that
are they gonna
really.
have Robert Pattinson like shooting heroin into his arm? Like, how much further can they go with the intense darkness of the Batman?
I hope not. I hope there's, yeah, I hope there's some levity in the Pattinson movie because I agree with you. Like, I love the Nolan movies, Dark Knight. Like I said, maybe my favorite movie ever, but he almost ruined it a little bit. Nolan almost ruined it because everyone's just trying to get as realistic and gritty and dark as they can. And you don't have to do that with comic book movies.
Yeah. Oh boy. All the crime, you know, they always find a way to get all the crime bosses together at one big table.
This is very Dark Knight, right? This is like the
Right?
pencil trick scene.
Yeah.
I heard that the Dark Knight was the Dark Knight Returns was inspiration.
That makes sense.
Dark Knight Returns and The Killing Joke, I heard, were inspiration.
The killing joke for the vat, definitely. Like that imagery is very similar.
So this was confusing to me as a kid too. About now we're seeing him with flesh tone face again.
Very confusing to me as a kid as well. I never understood that.
Speaking of silly, we got the old hand buzzer to death.
I remember hand buzzers were like big in my like world at this point. As like a 7-year-old, you would have someone who bring one into school or whatever, and I was like, they could fucking murder you. Like it was terrifying. Like could a whoopee cushion kill you too? That was the other big thing.
Oh, you know what time it is? Look at this, Clem, Robbie. We have to get it here. It's time.
Look at this thing.
All right, guys, get your Joker Goon jackets on. They're here now.
I left mine in the city.
Clem, it's Joker Goon jacket time, bro.
This is why we have a YouTube.
What?
Things like this.
Oh, you guys didn't bring your Joker Goon jackets?
So tell the YouTube viewers, if you're listening on the podcast, you can't see what my brother just put on, but he is literally wearing like one of the jackets that they're wearing in the movie right now, a Joker Goon jacket that was custom made. This was custom made by our uncle. He makes leather jackets. I'll put in the pictures in the if you're watching YouTube, like the progress of it, because he just bought it as a black jacket and he turned it into that. Hand painted the patches on it and shit. Sewed them on. Painted the jacket purple. It's pretty fucking crazy. And this is like my brother. How long did you look for that before?
I've wanted this jacket since I had the Bob the Goon action figure. And saw that they had this little Joker face sticker on the figure. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I love that figure for that reason. I asked Mom if I could bring him in the bath one day. Brought him in the bath, and the fucking Joker patch sticker fell off. And I have never quite recovered from that. And yeah, I always just wanted this jacket. Apparently, they used to sell them at like Warner Brothers stores, or if you had the Warner Brothers catalog. Like if you were a 90s kid, you had this VHS, it started with like an advertisement from fucking Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck talking about the Warner Brothers catalog where you can order Batman merchandise. And it was just like, why do we not have that? I need to order Batman merchandise. So I've looked for this jacket for the past probably 10 years on the internet and never found one. Never saw one up for eBay or websites or anything like that. And I would tell our Uncle Dennis, I'm still looking for that jacket, can't find it. And because he was really good about finding, odd shit and hard to find shit on eBay and on the internet. And sure enough, this past Christmas, he showed up at the house with a box that said Access Chemicals on it. So as soon as I saw the box, I'm like, I know what this is, man. And he looked at me like, yeah, you know what this is. And I opened it up, man. And sure as shit, Here I am. I'm a Joker goon whenever I want to be. Clem Dog, read it and weep.
Clem, the level of detail on the box had literally stamps on it, fake stamps that he had made that had each Joker face on it, every single person that played the Joker. And then the sense was the year that the movie came out in which they played the Joker. I mean, I'll put all the pictures into the video so everyone could see what we're talking about. We're not just bullshitting you. This was an all-time Christmas present.
Is Uncle Dennis the one that made you the Funko Pop?
He is. Oh, I could go get it. It's here. Hold
Uncle
on. I'll
Dennis
go grab
is
it.
a goddamn legend. I need to get in the Fox family for many reasons, and just to have Uncle Dennis as, I mean, the man is a gift-giving legend, a custom.
I eventually nicknamed him Uncle Give because he's always giving some cool shit like that, some custom shit.
Hell yeah. Oh man, the Robbie Fox barstool. I still don't know how we don't have those in the store. Dave is fucking a celebrity enough. He's gonna have a real Funko Pop. Let's just make our own Funko Pops and beat everyone to the punch.
For real.
There's jackets in the store too.
I swear Dave is gonna get a Funko Pop of him eating pizza. I think that's gonna happen. I say by the end of 2022, there is a Dave Portnoy one bite Funko Pop that exists. Mark that down, listeners.
Put that in the sports book. Over under New
Yeah.
Year's Day of 2023.
By the way, Vicki Vale, photographer, journalist, stage 5 clinger. Like, what are we doing? She just happened to come upon him in this time in his life of the anniversary of the parents' death, I guess.
It's a dark thing for Bruce to do too, huh?
Seems like we started cutting some corners in the script here, boys. What if? Now hear me out. What if this is the anniversary here?
Seems like go to their graves, man. Don't go to the place where they got shot. That's a little too sad.
You know what though? I buy it from Keaton.
True. Keaton's dark, and Batman's got to be dark and mysterious and shit. Don't pick those up. That's disrespectful.
That's not for you to pick up, Vicky.
Come on, Martha and Tom.
Looking fine only gets you away with so much, Vicky.
It would be great if there was some kid on the side that saw that all happening. He's like, "Hey, put that down."
You know, a hobo picked those up 2 minutes later and tried to sell them.
I know, because you see it all the time with the with the John Lennon Memorial in Central Park. People put flowers there, and then homeless people pick them up.
Yeah, classic maneuver.
That's a good burn. Good burn by the reporter.
Arliss feeling himself.
Every reporter in this room has a fedora. There's not one without a fedora.
Oh, we got a little more Tim Burton creepiness for you here, Clem.
Yep.
This reminds me of like animated series shit. Like I could see this happening in Batman the Animated Series.
Completely.
Great music cues here too. The piano.
Classic Keaton face. Like, look at this fucking guy. Give me a break.
A really good mime is pretty damn impressive.
Agreed. It's a lost art, I think.
Yeah. You see a mime on the Jersey
them
Shore
anymore.
boardwalk, you could watch it for a good 30 seconds before you move on.
Yes. I was on Reddit the other day, and it was like, name something about your country that isn't true that everyone thinks is real. And someone's like, I've lived in France or Paris my whole life, and I've never seen one mime. And I'm like, are you fucking
That
serious?
stuns me. I would imagine there would be mimes there like we have like performers in Times Square.
Yes,
like you would think like by the fucking Eiffel Tower, they got mimes.
By the way, Joker's get up is a little more fancy. Like, you ever been in a wedding and the groom calls you and you're like, I need you to go here to pick up your suits. You think he was doing that with the other mimes? He's like, yeah, I need you to pick up your mime suits by Tuesday. I got mine picked out, but I need you to be on point with me.
Like knowing how hard it is to wrangle a group of people together for anything, picturing the Joker trying to do that is hysterical.
Do you think the Joker plotted that whole death just for that line about the pen is mightier than the sword? That was his whole reason. It's like, we could shoot him, we could poison him, we could do whatever, stab him in the heart with a knife. Nope, let's just get that pen joke in there. And I kind of respect it, right?
I feel like it's a very Joker thing to do, is come up with this grandiose plan just to say something, cute.
I love it. It makes him great. Now, okay, Mike, as a the OG Batman guy here, like, is there who else? Like, it has to be Joker for any Batman, the first Batman movie, and all this kind of stuff. If it wasn't Joker, for some reason they couldn't do it, who would be number 2 on that list? As like, I'm not a diehard Batman guy. Like, the Joker and Batman are, you know, peanut butter and jelly when it comes to that. But who's like the number 2 villain on the list for Batman?
Well, I feel like the 66, you know, TV show, just based on that and everybody's familiarity with the big ones they always saw, I feel like it's got to be either Riddler, Penguin, or Catwoman, just because those were the constants in the TV show by then. I feel like there was even talk of a Robin Williams Riddler in this. There was
I've heard that, yeah.
Joker and maybe even a Robin Williams Riddler.
I've seen like fan mock-ups of that before. People have done like photoshops of him as the Riddler, because I think they talked about it for this one and then briefly discussed it for a potential third Batman movie that Tim Burton would have done. I thought Two-Face right away, but you're right about the 66 thing. Like, Two-Face wasn't in 66, so it would probably have to be Riddler or Penguin or Catwoman.
Which is surprising. They had every other fucking stupid, goofy character.
Yeah, they had King Tut, like people they made up for the show,
Bookworm,
but couldn't put
Egghead, and but no Two-Face in the TV show.
I like Bookworm and Egghead. They're good villains. Those are like, James Gunn needs to come in and do something with those guys. He's weird enough to actually make them work.
By the way, there was rumors not too long ago, I guess when the Snyder Cuts thing really started, you know, taking off, like, and looking like being a thing, that apparently there's a Schumacher cut of Batman Forever, which has a much different tone, which I really dig Forever. So I'd like to see that. I thought Val Kilmer was good.
I would love to see that.
I looked it up and it says here Robin Williams was initially potentially thinking about being Joker if when Jack was kind of on the fence about it. Then once Jack said yes, obviously Robin went out. 95, he refused to do Warner Brothers movies because of the Joker snub. Then it looks like he might be the Riddler in Forever, but then Burton and Keaton walk, and then Schumacher brings in Carrey as his Riddler. And then it says even here, Chris Nolan was bringing Joker to Batman, and he knew Robin Williams wanted a piece of it. And but it says kind of just went different ways, obviously, with Heath Ledger, which I mean, that's as much as I love Robin Williams, I think they kind of nailed it with these two. It's just him as the Riddler in Forever would have been interesting, right? I mean, I love Jim Carrey in general, but there's nothing there that like you could change whatever. You put Robin Williams in anything, I don't think you can go wrong.
That's an all-time what if, Robin Williams Joker.
Yep.
Imagine a world in which like comic book movies were so popular that he could have gotten like a solo Joker movie in a different universe like Joaquin did.
By the way, check this out. Bob the Goon, underrated photographer.
Oh yeah,
Look
good
at these
shot.
photos, man. Tremendous.
Oh, he could work for Getty Images. That's good shit.
And he knows it too. He's like, I'm so unappreciated. Look at the pictures I took for him.
I love the dynamic they have too. Like, he doesn't have to say, Bob, you know, attaboy, good work on this. Bob knows, you know, like it's I mean, Robbie, you know, when Portnoy is just speaking to you as an equal, it makes you feel good. I don't need like a pat on the ass or anything, but when just not like looking down on me, like, look at Bob, he's shining right now. He's glowing because he
knows he did a good job. He's proud of himself for sure.
Bob. And by the way, Clem, if you notice, if we see it at all on Bob's sleeve, he's got the most Joker cards on the sleeve. Not every Joker goon has so many cards on the sleeve.
It's like the Ohio State, you get the Buckeye on the helmet when you do something good. Yeah, he definitely got a couple of Joker cards for that fucking photography right there too. It's like, what kind of lens did you use on this, Bob? It's fantastic. Oh man.
Once again, playing with time feels like we're back in the 30s, and it works.
Yeah. That's like an old school Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, speaking of Tim Burton, from the outside with the big pipes.
Assembly line, one guy just staring at everything. It looks great. Moving on.
And these are the scenes where they were like, all right, Jack, just fucking go crazy. Be you. Go nuts. Do you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Once again, a little foreshadowing there. By the way, I've worked in the CBS Evening News studio. The lights are not all off right before they come on. I don't know why they invented that.
It's like they got to save on electric. They turn everything on right before they go live.
It's like a cheap dad. It's like the dad from A Christmas Story is just like, just turn the, don't touch the thermostat yet.
Oh no.
That doesn't happen either. They don't grab pieces of paper and say, this just in. Once again, as a young child, this was very confusing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how drugs can affect someone, how laughing gas affects someone.
All right, so I noticed something eventually, and I noticed it maybe about a year ago. He takes over the broadcast here, and eventually it clicked in my mind that the Joker, well, like one of his character traits is hijacking television broadcasts. He does it here. He does it in The Dark Knight.
Yep.
He does it. Joaquin does it at the end of that show.
Oh shit, he does with De Niro.
Yeah. He even does it. I realized it this past Christmas because I put on the animated series for my son, and I put on the episode Christmas with the Joker. And Robin wants to get back to Wayne Manor and watch It's a Wonderful Life because he's a kid. And they get back to watch, and Joker has hijacked the broadcast. And he's putting on Christmas with the Joker on TV. So, yeah, I'm like, this motherfucker is all about screen time, it turns out. He just wants on the magic box. He does it all the time.
He's like an attention whore. If the Joker was around nowadays, you wouldn't be able to miss him on Twitter.
And I'm curious if anyone who had anything to do with those different versions of it realized it and did it intentionally, or if it's just the most random coincidence throughout the different incarnations of that character. I feel like my jacket's making noise. I'm going to take their earbuds.
I was wondering if you were going to get hot.
People are like, what is that fucking noise? That sounds like leather. It's killing me.
Uncle Gift. Uncle Dennis coming through.
Also, a big part of the reason why I'm into the UFC. So shout out to Uncle Dennis for that.
I was going to ask if that was a Mike thing or not. So
Uncle
Dennis is big on that?
Not really. I mean, the first UFC pay-per-view I ever saw was at Mike's house. When you lived like a couple houses down from us, it was Lesnar's debut. And you bought that, invited a couple friends over, invited me over. I was like, this is dope. I stuck around. You were like, you could have that.
I can't believe, like, I remember UFC back when it was, you know.
That guy looks like shit, by the way. Oh my God. He's got COVID.
This seems like a good time for an ad read here on this broadcast.
Yeah, it does. You know what? This is actually the perfect time for an ad read. This is time to get serious for a second. Talk about our friends at BetterHelp. The last year's been hard on a lot of people, right? That's why we're doing something new and partnering with our new sponsor, BetterHelp Online Therapy. I love that we got this on the show. This feels like a very My Mom's Basement Robbie Fox thing. I'm kind of always try to talk about my own mental health, be an advocate for it. So I love that BetterHelp has partnered up with us for this ad read and this sponsorship. So we truly love and appreciate our listeners. Without you, none of this would be possible. So once in a while, we want to try to bring you something good. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but we all like to take care of our bodies. Time to take care of the mind, right? So go to BetterHelp. It's customized online therapy that offers you video, phone, and live chat sessions. So if you feel that in-session therapy is a little too intimidating, you could do phone calls, you could do video chats, or you can do just typing chats. Literally your comfort level. You don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want. And it's much more affordable than in-person therapy. I know that's a big hang up for people. Check out this stuff. You could start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really all about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. So our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Robbie. Make sure you spell that ROBBIE. Like we said last week, I look down on people that spell Robbie with a Y. You're taking a shortcut out of life. I don't like it. ROBBIE. So that's betterhelp.com/Robbie. You'll get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com. you don't turn into the Joker after that. You take care of yourself, no Joker for you. And now we will bring you this broadcast commercial free. I like saying that because they used to say that on a Monday Night Raw. You know,
Oh,
JR would be like,
yes.
we're all out of commercials. You're going to get to watch the rest of this main event live. And we're getting to some great parts of the movie right here. This is like one of my favorite parts of the movie, I feel like, coming up.
And we're definitely back in the 80s because that is one 80s motherfucking outfit Vicki Vale's wearing right now.
Vicki Vale has some fucking, I hate to say it, man hands. Like, I thought those were Keaton's.
Clem, I'll not have any slander of the Vicki Vale on this podcast.
Man hands, those are fighting words.
I thought they were Keaton's hands at first. That's all I'm gonna say.
Someone tweeted me that about.
Fuck, he's right.
Someone tweeted me that about Megan Fox, which I guess is a thing. People have talked about her thumbs for a while, but I tweeted a picture of her and MGK at the UFC show, and they were like, "Yeah, I would never talk to those man hands." It's like, what are we even talking about? Random guy on Twitter.
Damn you, Clem.
How often is it they open the box that says urgent and written in crayon and it works out for you in a good way? Not too often, right?
By the way, do you think they've come up with a COVID mask that looks like that mask? Because I want one.
Oh, shit. That's such a good idea. I mean, we're now like the only 3 that'll get that. That's the nerdiest of nerdy references, but that's an amazing idea. Maybe even a tiny little like urgent on the side.
And now we're gonna get
Lawrence,
another treat. We're getting a little Prince. It's party man time. You know what? I lied. It's party.
You got you got to throw the purple on the Prince.
Party man, Clem.
The purple for Prince. This has always been one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I don't even necessarily know like why I loved it so much as a kid. Maybe just because it's fun. You watch them having fun, so it's like, I don't know, that'd be fun to go and mess up a museum.
You see that painter's toolbox that was hot pink?
Yeah.
I just imagine Joker being like, and this is your toolbox for the day. It's hot pink. I made it that way.
No way that's Jack writing that, right? They got a calligraphy guy?
It looks great.
It looks so good.
That motherfucker only got 1 card on his sleeve. He ain't worked his way up yet.
So the mask, they have one on Etsy, but it's a prop. So I don't think we'd have to, COVID file.
Yeah, it's not like made for COVID.
$45, 3D printed. God bless people just for making that stuff, man. Like,
I can't wait till 3D print. Oh, that looks pretty good. It looks accurate. Yeah. I can't wait till we all have 3D printers like we all had printers at one point. That'll be fun.
I would have 3D printed a new fucking Joker Goon jacket sticker from my Bob figure.
Oh man, Uncle Dennis is going to be putting in work when he has a 3D printer at his disposal.
Oh yeah.
You know what I did though? Once that sticker fell off Bob's jacket, that was my Undertaker figure because I didn't have an Undertaker yet.
Oh, so he had the hat on, right? He had the hat and the leather, like the black.
Glass half full. Now I have an Undertaker.
I like that.
Because they didn't have an Undertaker Hasbro at that time yet.
By the way, another Joker trait, right? Talking to Batman's woman kind of in a romantic, terroristic way. He does it to Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight at that party, and he does it to her here. And shout out to Prince. We just turned Prince off, but he did the soundtrack for this movie. You could listen to the entire Batman soundtrack from Prince. Bat Dance is on there. Legendary music video where he's half and half Batman Joker. Just fucking legend.
Well, Prince did a concept album, but then they were so impressed with Elfman's score that they told him, we're going to release your score as a whole separate album. And they did.
Wow.
That was the thing is when those 2 names, you have Prince and then Danny Elfman back to back, and it's just 2 fucking titans there, right?
Oh, Mike, you mentioned before, you didn't finish the thought about Danny Elfman didn't think he could be a composer. And didn't Tim Burton call him up? And what was he doing before he was composing?
He was in a band. He was in a band called Oingo Boingo, which I've never heard of, but I imagine it sounds just as fucking wacky as all this music he's come up with.
Yeah.
But
some weird prog shit, maybe.
Tim called him up to do Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which was his first big major, motion picture. And yeah, Danny was just like, I can't score movies. And I guess Tim was just like, I think you can. And then he wound up to do Beetlejuice after that, Batman after this. And like I said, set the tone for what a Batman score should sound like. They took it and made it part of the animated series. It's still what you think of really when you think of the Batman theme. It's this theme.
Definitely.
So that is my other Tim Burton criticism is I loved Pee-wee's Playhouse growing up, and I fucking hated Pee-wee.
Oh,
Like
Marge scared the shit out of me.
Yes, that's what it was. That was my number one most terrified moment. Like we were saying with Joker before. Nope. Large Marge, like the fucking eyes googling out. And I had a kid I grew up with in my neighborhood who would like pause it on that scene and be like, hey, come on in here. And he'd play it and it would fucking, traumatize me for another year. So
what a bully.
Like, how do you make Pee-wee's Playhouse weird and creepy, man? Come on, it's Pee-wee's Playhouse.
He did make it weird and creepy. This has always terrified me, by the way, the mask that she's wearing.
Yes, big time.
And even when Joker has that flesh-colored paint on with the prosthetics, he almost looks creepier than when he's white with the red lips.
Oh yeah, that I remember that being a little bit freaky deaky when I was 3 years old in a dark movie theater for sure.
A little Phantom of the Opera-esque, right?
Yeah, and I don't know why he showed her that. I think he's trying to woo her, but he's going about it all wrong, from what I can tell.
He's intimidating her into being wooed.
Color scheme great too. The orange, the turquoise, the purple.
It is.
They nailed it.
And he really was. I'm trying to think, but I feel like for a lot of the early comics that I could remember, and obviously all of the 66 show, he wore pink, the Joker. And now a lot of people think of purple as his main color. Maybe it started here.
Well, I feel like I once read or heard something about Jack having approval to a certain degree over the look.
Was he the biggest name actor in this? He had to be, right?
Great.
By this point?
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, I mean, he's headlining over anybody, in the credits in the opening, for sure. Batman through the ceiling. I mean, how many times can we watch Batman through this glass ceiling? If I ever make a Batman movie, which I'm not going to, but if I ever do, he's coming through a glass ceiling at some point.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Iconic.
Great Joker moment. Always Joker, constantly being foiled and constantly just kind of digging that he's being foiled. And our first look at what is also my favorite Batman, my favorite Joker, my favorite Gotham. Well, this is also my favorite Batmobile.
Such a good Batmobile. I love the long look that they would sort of base the animated series line on, just in its length. But this is so awesome. I love the wings on the back. I love the turbo booster in the back. And the Joker vehicles are just as cool.
Bob was bringing those vehicles to the paint shop one by one. He's like, I can't believe how many times I got to come back to this paint shop. I got to do fucking everything. But then he's like, I do got to 5 cards on my sleeve.
Yeah.
If I want to keep my status, I got to do what he says. I heard when they built this Batmobile, they built it with no door. They showed up and they're like, great, it looks awesome. How does he get in the thing?
Really? And they kind of just improvised on it?
Like, oh shit, he's gonna have to get in the thing. They're like, yeah, he's gonna have to get in the thing. So they went back to the drawing board and they're like, all right, what if the top slides open like an old bomber plane or something?
Always just trucks full of cabbage and lettuce ready to fall in action movies and blockbusters.
Great brakes on the Batmobile. Alfred's got that thing tuned up fine.
It is an odd time to be doing construction work too, right?
Definitely.
And by the way, this is Vicky's first look at Batman, right?
Yeah.
In person. So it's
do you
it's
think
a little
she
peculiar how
now
she's
here's
just
the question.
going to do whatever she says. She's just like, I'll do whatever you say.
She got real close to him in bed, Bruce Wayne. What if she recognized Batman's breath? What if he has like a certain breath mint?
Bat breath.
Bat breath.
She recognized the bat breath.
I'm sure he's got something, those sprays. He probably has one in his belt that Alfred refills. And she's like, oh shit, I know that spray.
How much do you weigh?
Yeah, that's oof. That one's not gonna fly in the 2023 version.
On Twitter, he'd be canceled on Twitter. Batman asked a woman how much she weighs.
Yep. He is a vigilante for that one.
Why would it matter, Batman?
I'm nervous about my man hands comment still. If I shouldn't have said that in post production, Bob. And
Oh yeah, there's
And
gonna
they
be
just
a
cut to
cardboard
him,
box
too.
on your desk on Monday there, Clem.
Oh, brutal.
It blast him good.
Yeah.
check his wallet, the bat wallet. Fucking devotion to the game there. Just taking that
Oh,
picture,
yeah.
a bunch of goons with guns.
That's the content game. She would be a Barstool employee nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never leaves that phone. Batman kind of hit a kip up like Shawn Michaels. By the way, that goon with the glasses and the hat, he kind of looks like fucking the guitarist of Cheap Trick. Rick Nielsen, is that his name?
No, Rick's the singer. There are Cheap Trick fans screaming the
I
guitar player's
know.
name into their phones right now at you, bro.
Robin? I thought Robin was the singer.
Oh, you're right. Shit, I'm wrong. There
Yeah.
are people screaming at me now. Rick's the guitar player. Sorry, Cheap Trick fans.
Where'd the Joker find a guy trained in swords? Well, maybe he wasn't trained in swords, actually. He was probably a guy who told the Joker he was trained in swordsmanship.
Bob found him.
Yeah, true. He was one of Bob's guys.
He said, Bob, I need a guy who needs to know how to use swords. Go find him.
He's just like, my boss is the worst. I can't find a guy who's fucking good with
Scrolling
swords.
through the yellow pages, he goes to S immediately. Mistake. You don't want to start with S. It's not going to say sword.
It said S words. He's like, no, I'm a swords guy too. Don't worry about it.
You want to go to K for Kung Fu Master.
Yeah, M, martial artist.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Bob just wants to get that fucking camera from her. He's like,
Love this, by the way. You weigh more than 108.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Whoa.
Brutal truth bomb.
She must have pissed him off as Bruce Wayne for him to take that shot as Batman. You know, he would never say something like that if he were Bruce.
This is one of the best shots in the movie here.
I feel like this stuff, I definitely heard this from one of the commentaries, but I think they had to speed this footage up, right? Because the Batmobile that they built like could not go very fast.
Yes, correct. And there it is, those eyes, those Michael Keaton dark selling me a Batman eyes. Where are we going? No response. Cold.
Another thing that might get you canceled nowadays, when a girl asks you where you're going, you got to tell her.
Oh,
That's
yeah, no, this is a
that's
full on
consent, brother. That's the sped up shot right there. You could see it.
Yes. This was part of a Diet Coke commercial in the late 80s, early 90s, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Batman was a Coke guy? That's fucking devastating as a Pepsi
Diet
guy.
Coke and Taco Bell on this promotion, I think.
Did either of you guys ever try the Batman cereal?
Yes, I got it. Clem, you're not going to believe who got me a box of Batman cereal for my 5th birthday.
we made it for you, like graded all.
Uncle Dennis shows up. Uncle Giv shows up on the 5th birthday with the Batman cereal, and shrink wrapped to the outside of the Batman cereal is the Bat Bust piggy bank.
Oh, wow.
A little slit on the top of the cowl to put my communion money into. The Batman cereal tasted like soggy Captain Crunch, if I'm being honest.
I feel like I would like it just for having the bat symbol on the box. Like I got the Baby Yoda cereal and it kind of just tasted like soggy Lucky Charms and I loved it anyway. I ate the whole box.
I'm just so amazed by Uncle Giv right now. It just makes me feel really bad as an uncle.
And by the way, our aunt, his wife, is the one who designed like all of our tattoos, me and him. Very creative couple there. The most creative you could imagine. Yeah.
Don't even try. You're not going to reach that plateau.
Yeah, it's like I might just go the other way and just bring all.
And a basement listener, by the way. Uncle Den is probably listening to this. Oh yeah, he listens every week, Clem.
We're getting Uncle Giv on the pot.
He's a Clem fan.
Got to get Uncle Giv on the goddamn thing. Get him on a movie. Pick a movie, any movie, Uncle Giv.
We should. That would be fun.
Great look at the Batcave here. Got all his gizmos, his gadgets, all painted black. Hey, I think you're right about the bat breath too. Did you notice the scope on the desk?
Yeah.
Got a bottle of fucking scope. You're right about the breath, I think, bro.
Bro, the bat breath is going to be an issue when you think about real life in Batman. Bruce isn't thinking about his personal relationships.
By the way, why does he trust her to break the news about cracking the poison code? Of
I
all
mean,
people, he's giving it to her.
listen, sometimes women have that effect on you.
He's been inside of her.
Yeah, he had sex and he was like, I would like to do that again. So you could have this story.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that Batman's been inside of her.
Oh, fuck, you're right. So yeah, it's not even like, it's just him being a simp, really. He's just like, you're the best.
He's like, I want to tell her how much I love her and care about her, but I also have to keep my identity revealed.
Is he about to take the cowl off and have no face paint under it too? Or not in this scene, but he does that in Returns at the end.
Returns, yeah.
When he rips it off, and it looks so flimsy when he rips it off too. You're like, oh damn, he was working with silicone that whole time.
And they only show him with no eye black under the cowl for a split second. But in that split second, you're like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
What's different about what I just saw there?
Yeah. I like the shot in the new the Pattinson trailer where you see he's got like the eye black on without the mask on. It looks dark and it looks like fucking you when you used to drum with eye black on. You gotta throw a picture on for those people. You look like a maniac.
It's all about the presentation. Oh, he took the film. He got his hand down that shirt and got that film.
Speaking of simps, everyone wants a piece of Vale. Can I do your laundry? Can I walk your dog? Anything, Miss Vale.
That's Knox.
This movie does it is like moving more. I want to say more than I remember. Like it's only been a few months since I've watched it, but there's not a lot of downtime.
This is like a COVID report from a year ago. Avoid the following combinations.
That's a great Joker look right there with that color scheme.
Yes.
How many TVs is this guy gonna break?
How
many TVs is Bob stealing for him off the back of a truck?
Like, motherfucker, I'm gonna have to go get another TV by tonight. I know it.
Look at him looking at that TV. He's sad about it.
He's looking at him low, like, yeah, you show that TV, boss, and you give me that gun. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I can imagine the Joker shooting a TV and then handing the gun off to a henchman and being like, now go get rid of this gun. Throw it in It's that kind of screwy head that, makes that character so great, though. You never know.
Oh, yeah. Something that I can't imagine that character doing is getting damaged tattooed on his forehead. I just can't imagine him walking into a tattoo parlor and saying damage right across the forehead.
As Rocket Raccoon said in Infinity War, a bit much.
I love that this Batman wears glasses. I feel like that's a big player on our team.
So she won't take the flowers from him here, but she'll take the flowers that he leaves for dead parents where they got shot. You're a fickle one, Vale.
She's a bit screwy herself, turns out. And apparently with great, giant, big old man hands.
Yeah.
And a big old apartment, too.
Pretty good for a Gotham newspaper photographer. Gotta say.
Oh, yeah.
It's because everyone's fawning over her. They're showering her with gifts.
Yeah, and then everyone's giving her the stories, the shots, yeah. But she's got that dedication. She took the picture while she was almost getting shot.
That's true.
Keaton is funny there.
Physical assault.
Yeah, you can't push her down, brother.
Shout out to Vale for putting that in too. She's coming to play. This is game 7. That's a game.
Yeah, I looked at that. I was like, that's the kind of a Padawan braid, which I've thought whenever I eventually cut my hair, which is going to be no time soon, I'm definitely going to get a Padawan braid at first. Just a little rat tail that I braid. That would be so funny. Mike, how do you feel about Keaton coming back in the Flash? Are you like, or are you excited about it because it's Keaton and it's Batman?
Both. I feel like this DCU or DCEU is such a failed attempt to try to catch up quick and accomplish what Marvel accomplished. And it's a bit of a mess. Like I said, we have a Batman who uses the F word now, apparently, because
And he brands his villains before they go into jail. Like imagine Batman branding someone. Come on.
and I
Is he
mean
a frat boy?
the Flash. I don't care about the Flash as
See, my issue is
a movie.
I think Keaton coming back as Batman in a multiverse thing is so cool and I'm down for it. But I really don't love Ezra Miller as the Flash. So I'm like, it's happening in the movie where I'm like, I would feel the least passionate about.
We
But
do
maybe it'll
love
turn me around on it.
we do love Ezra Miller as a possible young Ace Frehley. Though.
Yeah.
This biopic.
I got to put the side by side. He needs to play Ace Frehley in the Kiss movie that they say they're making. Shout It Out Loud, it's called, right?
Netflix is
buying the rights.
biopic. Yeah, we want Ezra Miller as a young Ace. We want Paul Dano as a young Peter. We want Nick Simmons as a young version of
as
his
Gene.
dad, Gene Simmons. We have no fucking idea who's going to play Paul Stanley.
Paul's got a weird face.
Tweet Robbie and let him know who you think should play a young Paul Stanley.
I'll have to ask Ken Jack too. He's usually good at that shit.
If by chance you've made it this far with us, and
we are an hour and 21 minutes into the movie. For anyone still listening at home, catching up at home, trying to queue up, we're about to get to one of the most iconic lines. I would say the most quoted from me in this movie for sure. I use this GIF in movies all the time, or in blogs all the time. Oh God, that's so creepy.
So he killed her. She killed her.
I get it.
Herself,
Yeah.
herself out the window. Well, yeah, that's only going to end one of two ways there.
Oh God, he's so creepy. Grab that popcorn, yeah.
Always
Don't let him break the popcorn bowl. I mean that would be overboard.
He's like, "Hey, great line from Jack here. Another rooster in the hen house." Right on point, Bob.
Yep.
Yeah. That's Dave's Frankie right there. He's really got us back. I love Michael Keaton in this scene. He's so good here. Bob making sure to laugh when his guy's laughing.
Got to get that laugh out. Can't have the boss man playing the
By the way, guy holding the ghetto blaster back there seems to be wearing what appears to me to be like, man of the collar. He looks like a priest. He's got like, it looks like the one little white square, right on the Adam's apple there, and then the all black.
I love that they put this scene in the movie where Bruce Wayne has to confront the Joker as Bruce Wayne, and he's cornered. And he's acting like a fucking maniac.
Love it. And Joker is not intimidated in the least bit. He's kind of entertained that he gets to partake in these little parlor games in front of his woman he wants to woo here.
Oh, the popcorn went down. God damn it, Vicki.
And he said the thing. He said the line.
It's a good thing Bruce put that plate right in that one spot.
Which, hey, Back to the Future. See, I could make that reference.
There you go.
A reference I understand. Love the plaid pants.
I think this might be my favorite Joker look in the movie, to be honest. The plaid pants with the turquoise shirt. I like the parade at the end too, though.
Great Joker laughs, just being silly, blows a big raspberry and floats on by. Bruce does that Batman thing.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to make a little bit of sense to her, I think.
Son of a bitch.
He's like,
Always
"No, but
prepared.
clean up."
I would be so afraid to open anything at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just immediately opening a package the Joker left for
I'm
me.
not like, all right, let's check it out.
Murdered your buddy in cold blood. At least he thought he did.
Knox has been cranking away on the microfiche.
I mean,
and
that's
also
the old-
typical like friend being like, I think that guy that you're into is not cool. I think that I actually understand you way better.
I feel like Bruce Wayne, Prince of Gotham, I feel like people are just going to happen to know his backstory. You know,
They gotta.
if you work, if you're a journalist, you work at Gotham's newspaper, you shouldn't just now be finding out that the Waynes were killed in the only theater they had in Gotham, apparently, because it's the only one they show us.
They drive past it a ton too in this one movie.
Yes.
They're constantly driving past the theater.
It's like they're Times Square.
True.
And they got that one little patch of grass. I can't imagine such a perfectly manicured patch of grass in the middle of Times Square. But they did it.
That would be taken over by the Minnie Mouse people that like take the helmet off the entire day. And yeah, Times Square is a nasty place. Not what it appears to be in the movies.
Full of Batmen with no eye black under the
Yeah, true. There are a lot of Batman in Times Square. Is that Alfred still alive? No, right? He passed away.
No, yeah, he passed.
Sad.
Great Alfred.
Such a good Alfred. And Michael Caine, big shoes to step into, and he did a fucking good job as well. He kind of became iconic in his own right.
Here comes Ed Koch to let us know. Oh, no, they're not golden. He's calling it off. Again, this is another COVID announcement. Postponed. We cannot guarantee public safety.
Boss Grissom sounds like it's a Star Wars name. Someone who works for Jabba.
Yes.
Good call. Why are they all looking that way? Like they could see.
Yeah, is there a screen over there? Are they on FaceTime?
I just keep hearing Lando's voice in my head. He's like, what's this guy talking about, Shoebagger? We're back in the 80s. 80s punks on motorcycles.
Yeah. There's the Ramones.
80s construction workers standing over a flaming barrel. Cops playing cards at the bar, probably on duty.
Yeah. Let's do inflation. Let's see what 20 million in cash is today.
By the way, that was like a record scratch moment. Everybody all of a sudden could hear when he said 20 million on the crowd. Great effect he's got. You know, I bet it took Bob a long time to learn how to do that effect on the home recording equipment down in whatever cave Joker's holed up in.
$20 million in 1989 calculated to today's inflation would be $42 million, almost 43 actually. He would probably round it up to 50 nowadays. You can't say I'm going to drop 40 million over you guys. You guys say we're going to drop 50 mil.
You say 50, but you bring the 40 you have.
True. Yeah, they're not going to be able to count it.
They're not counting.
Yeah. Yeah. We basically modeled the gambling cave after Batman's TV set up there, so they could have every game and every screen.
Back to this file, like he doesn't fucking know it word for word.
Also, Batman before the internet. He's got files everywhere.
That's the thing.
The internet, yep.
Microfiche, and like back when I was a kid, you had to look up reports and stuff. You'd go to get encyclopedias. I remember I'd have to walk to someone's house that had all the encyclopedias. Different world, Bob. Different world.
You both have referenced something called microfiche, and it's the first time that I've heard that word in my entire life. I don't know. I thought I was missing out on a reference that I didn't get. What is that?
That's what Arliss was looking at with like the newspaper on that like screen or whatever.
Ah,
It's how they would compile,
like a projector type thing.
Yeah, it's how they would compile like old news articles. It was like microscopic images of the news articles, and you would like have to go to the library and use the machine to do a report on something. How fucking old do we sound right now, Clem?
My kid just asks Alexa now when she needs a question asked.
I turned into that Matt Damon gif from Saving Private Ryan at the end.
This is the first time theatrically we see a scene that we've now seen way too many times. Martha and Thomas Wayne getting shot in an alleyway.
Nobody has been killed more times than Martha and Thomas Wayne, and also Uncle Ben Parker.
Yeah. These poor motherfuckers, they keep digging up the graves just to kill him again.
Also, this was big controversy at the time. Fans were not happy that they wrote in, once again, maybe we were cutting a few corners here on the script, but what if it turned out that a young Jack Napier, who would become the Joker, killed Thomas and Martha Wayne? I didn't have any problem with it because it's all I ever fucking knew. I was reading comics at 3 years old. I was like, this makes sense. He seems like the kind of guy who would kill Bruce's parents.
And you're like, I guess that's why he's his biggest rival, because he killed his parents.
They buttoned it up nice for a 3-year-old, I got to say.
I don't hate it. I don't think this Joker interpretation, and I like the guy they got to play young Jack Nicholson too, with the eyebrows. I don't think this is as egregious as the like directions that they took in like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, where they kind of took the character in a completely different direction, which I was like, all right, if you want to do an Elseworlds thing, I wasn't anti that movie. It's fine with it, but definitely wouldn't say that was something that would make me angry.
The question is, if that had happened today with
like, people would be pissed. People would be furious, dude.
Speaking of furious, they go back to back, making the fanboys wet themselves here. Not only do we have Joker be the one to kill the Waynes, we have now let Vicki Vale into the Batcave and pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
And Alfred just leads her down there. Maybe clear that with Bruce?
I think Bruce right now is thinking, all right, I got to deal with this because I like getting laid, but Alfred is so getting fucking dressed down when I get back upstairs. Also, nice costuming choices. He's in black, she's in white. Maybe she's going to turn him.
And even she's got the blonde hair, he's got the black. Like it's the full light and dark.
She could be his knight in shining white armor, but I don't know. Is he going to let go of his past? Spoilers, he doesn't.
He's fucking Batman. It's something that Kevin Smith said about The Dark Knight Rises that I've also said. Something that I love about it. It's that the fact that Christopher Nolan actually gave him the happy ending in the end. Where he's like, yeah, he went and lived a happy life with like Catwoman. That's like kind of cool that every Batman movie deals with him being pulled away from this life and being like, no, it's Gotham deserves me right now. They need me right now, whatever. Nope. Nolan was like, he's going to go live a happy life. Joe Gordon-Levitt's got this handled. Suit up. Iconic.
It's all in the eyes.
Little fun fact here, Jack Nicholson received a percentage on the gross on the film, and due to the massive haul, took home around $60 million as of 2003, still the single movie record of an actor's salary. These are all the IMDb facts. And
that I actually know who broke that, Clem. I could update that fact for you. It was Harrison Ford with The Force Awakens. He got a percentage of the box office on that, and I think it was like something very low, like 1.5% or some shit. But then that movie became the biggest domestic movie of all time, and he made like $100 million from it.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Also, some murdering right there.
Mass murder.
Mass murder.
But it's okay because they're bad guys.
He just drove into that factory, dropped a bomb, and kept driving.
You could say Bruce Wayne's a bigger terrorist than the Flag Smashers were.
I mean, honestly, that would be something that people would be pissed about nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, because people got mad that he used the gun for the Batmobile in the Snyder movies, Justice League and BVS.
Clem, if I had known you were going to call Vicki Vale manhands and Bruce Wayne a terrorist, I don't know if I would have agreed to
I was hoping this was going to end one way in terms of our friendship, and it seems to be going the other way. Right?
It always bothered me a little bit when I was little, and even right now, that the logo on his chest is what it is here and not what it is in Returns, because it's the Returns logo on the poster. More prints
more
here.
print action. Love it. By the way, all the hookers they got in this movie.
There's a lot of hookers on every street corner that they cut to.
I've been approached by hookers in New York City. They don't look like that. Bob adds hell of a backup dancer to his ever-growing resume.
Yeah. And I like that he gets to be on the float with Joker, That's like a big spot. He's his hype man. It's like how Nirvana used to have. What was the guy's name? Like Dancing Larry or something? He used to just dance on stage with him.
I always think about like when a team wins a championship, like who's on what float, right? And it's like the guy that gets the first float with the Lombardi trophy or whatever. And I'm happy for Bob. I'm just really
moment
happy
for him. Nobody's counting this money. It's definitely not even anywhere near 20 mil.
They're throwing this shit out like at the end of Halloween night when parents are tired of answering the doorbell. Just get out of here. I want this bowl to be empty.
What a great comparison.
I had a game for PlayStation 4, Arkham Knight, which I believe is the last in that series they did, maybe. But as downloadable content, you could download like a time trial racing mode with a bunch of extra maps, and they were all the old Batman movie sets, like this scene with the float, the big 200 cake float, and the purple and green Joker Goon cars was part of one of the maps you can race through, and you can choose the 89 Batmobile as your vehicle to try to set your time trials for. And I would just pull right up to the float and stop and stare at it. Let the time run out. And my son would be like, "Go! What are you doing?" And I'm like, "But it's so beautiful, son. Like how well they did everything here."
He's 3. He has no idea what screen accurate means. Look at the mullet on that guy. That's a sick mullet.
Here we go. Batwing time.
Just think about poor Bob having to get in touch with the people that make floats and balloons and all that stuff and having to get this thing.
And he's like, right, yeah, it's a nighttime parade. They're like, nighttime parade? I don't think they do nighttime parades with big floats, sir. He's like, we need the floats at night, man.
Once again, just to reiterate, this guy talks and we all go silent.
It's true. Commands the screen every time he's on it.
Great look, though. Something's going on up there. This thing's here to spoil my night once again.
And nothing was cooler as a kid than the Batwing. The name, the look, the silhouette that we're about to see.
The toy was great because it was shaped like a toy gun. You would hold the trigger and the whole toy, the Batwing, would rest on the top of your hand as if you were holding a toy gun. And when you would pull the trigger, it would pinch those little grabbers in between, the ears of the cowl.
And I love the look of the floats too, which they would, I feel like, lean into even more in Returns. That's the look I think of when I think of Returns, like the big cat heads and the big stuff in the celebration in town for the Christmas tree lighting or whatever. Vicki Vale always getting a shot. That's why she's got that nice apartment.
Content. Blog never sleeps.
Yep.
She's the only one who sees this so far.
Yeah. This is Tim Burton's statement on greed and the American system and being dark and
Mask up.
yeah, this is a good advertisement for masks.
I feel like if you went to New York City once in the 80s, you probably came away thinking this was just this is a fair description of it all.
I wonder how they did like some of the CGI in this in the 80s, if it was miniatures or what.
A lot of miniatures.
Yeah.
They
That would be a cool thing to own, by the way. We talk about like, you know, one movie prop or whatever. Owning like the Batwing that they used as the miniature or the Millennium Falcon miniature, that'd be kind of dope. Put it on the table.
You can't own that if you have children, no. You come home and that should be in pieces on the floor.
You're like, that's the Batwing.
Daddy, we played with your toy.
Did you see they put out recently like the Ultimate Edition Lego Batmobile from this movie? And it's like hundreds of dollars and it's extremely detailed and, you know, 1,000 pieces or whatever.
Yeah. That's the thing about this movie too. They keep putting out toys and merch from it. I just saw that they were putting out a replica Batarang from this movie.
Oh yeah.
They put that out recently. It was in like Target or something. It's like they're not putting out, you know, toys from movies from the 80s still like they are with this. You know, this movie's got staying power.
There's people like you that grew up with it and now are like wearing fucking Joker Goon jackets.
I was saying they're like, we can't let Uncle Dennis corner the market on this stuff. We have to start releasing it ourselves.
Yeah, true. They're like, this fucking guy, he's making better stuff than us.
This is the first time that Batman really gets under Joker's skin and pisses him off, though. He's not happy right now. He had a whole plan, and now it's fucked.
Kind of the first time something's really went wrong for the Joker so far.
You know, when they were designing the Batwing and Bruce says to Alfred, I'm going to need like pinchers, like scissors and cut. He's probably thinking, what the fuck are you ever going to need that for?
And you know, he just like one day before he ever used them for that, he like trimmed a tree in Wayne Manor with him just to be like, see, Alfred, I fucking told you.
Yeah. And I guarantee he probably took it out for a spin a few times and it wasn't there. He's like, Alfred. He's like, yeah, I know. I was hoping he wasn't getting called out on it.
Oh, Bob catches the fucking bullet that puts him down. And from his boss, who he did nothing but good things for. That still stings when fucking Bob takes one.
Rest in peace, Bob the Goon. A true highlight of this commentary.
Tracy Walter, I believe. Tracy Walter. Shout out Tracy Walter for doing a tremendous henchman job here.
Is he still alive? Bob the Goon?
I believe so. He showed up somewhat recently in a Rob Zombie movie, I think.
You know what I would like to see him in? The Mandalorian. I want to see him as like a Boba Fett goon or something. The Book of Boba Fett.
Favreau.
Yeah. Because Favreau took Michael Biehn or whatever his name was from all those James Cameron movies, and he made him that magistrate's corner man, whatever you want to call him, assistant. And he was great. That was like a cool vibe. I bet Bob the Goon would be great there. Get Bob the Goon in the Mandalorian. You
know, in Scarface, when he murders Manny, and you know that's when he's just completely lost. That's exactly when Bob's gone here. That's how you know the Joker's basically he's cooked at this point.
His cheese has finally slid all the way off his cracker.
Yep, exactly. And the fact Batman got under his skin was that was like such a mom move, is just to take the balloons away and just throw them. Like he just let him go. He didn't even do anything and completely just threw him off.
Speaking of murdering Batmans.
Yeah, in The Dark Knight, the Joker's like, come on, hit me. And this one, Batman's like, I will, motherfucker.
By the way, way too much time installing the Batwing scissors and not enough time, calibrating the aiming.
Learning how to use it, learning how to shoot.
Big gun though. Let me tell you something. A little kid sees that shit and he wants a big ass long gun.
Everyone in kindergarten that day was dreaming of a gun by the end of lunch.
I'm sure you all took those counting cubes and stuck them together to make a gun. Remember those counting cubes?
So many guns with those
sick.
counting cubes. Once again, a lot of focus on gadgets. Maybe the armor, not so much.
Yeah. That reminds me of Dark Knight there, when the Batmobile blows up and he's got to get the Batpod out of it.
I get vibes of The Crow here, and obviously this was much before The Crow. I feel like The Crow took a lot of its vibe from this movie, especially in this ending here. The Crow ends in like this big old church.
Yeah, like the tower.
Showdown, church tower showdown between good and bad.
Listen,
that gun is preposterous.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone likes getting a gun pointed at them, but how do you not laugh? This guy is like sticking you up from 3 blocks away. Like, what the fuck?
He could put a gun to your temple and social distance at the same time.
Just the attention to detail made him such a great Joker, Once again, Bob was on an errand. Bob, I need all my walkie-talkies to be red and green.
Yeah.
Bob had so many tabs at so many different stores, right? The Circuit City to get all the TVs, the photography.
He had a custom paint guy. He had an Uncle Dennis.
Yeah. Honestly, by the time the Joker shot him, he might have been like, you put me out of my misery. I couldn't hold that up for much longer.
My to-do list is got 17 things on it still.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to sleep after this parade. I'm waking up early and I'm going to the paint store.
Yeah. I got to return these balloons tomorrow.
Well, so you can't give away $20 million. We have bills to pay everywhere right now. We're outstanding.
I want the Bob the Goon movie now. That's you, Clem. You were saying, if not for the Joker, who would be the number one? It's Bob.
That is the answer.
Oh, not the pews. Oh, Batman.
We may have to do like who are the best like number 2s in like
sidekicks.
Yeah, sidekicks in,
but like villain henchmen.
Yeah,
we could even do. We talked about doing teams of like people that spell John with Jon or JOHN and doing Survivor Series, pit them against each other. You do hero sidekicks and villain sidekicks. Because I would like to see like Short Round take on Bob the Goon.
I'm thinking Carl from Die Hard. He was a good number 2 guy.
All-time number 2 guy.
Carl's a hothead though.
He is a hothead.
Cool.
You could almost make the case that the number 2, the quiet guy from Die Hard with a Vengeance, who just makes the bombs and shit like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
But he gets cucked at the end too, so I can't. We're gonna have to flesh this one out. But Bob is a number 1 seed. I think that one goes with that.
Bob the Goon is also just such a fucking great name. Bob the Goon.
Commissioner Gordon, always a fucking day late and a dollar short on these capers, man.
Yeah. It's like, remember that period of time where Smitty was blogging like Nate things and Nate was blogging Smitty things and they were taking each other's stories. They're like, God damn it, they always got to it first. That's Batman and Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon's is, we will be reactive to any crisis that hits the city. Never proactive. Like, that is my promise to you. We will be reactive to everything after it has affected you and the entire city is crashing down at your feet.
And the mayor's constantly giving him shit for it. Like, you're making us look bad here. You got to be the first one there.
Bob, I'm going to need acid strong enough to blow through some bolts for a clock.
And he just keeps it right in there, too, That's, what if a little acid leaks out onto your pocket?
By the way, Vicki Vale's looking tremendous for the finale here. Man hands are not.
No, agreed.
It's a good thing Bats was just one step above where it was going to crash and blow out the rest of the staircase. But I love all those moments, man. To me, that's leaning back towards the 60s where it's fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Mhm.
Nope. Big bell in the way. Let's call it.
And all the cops standing around, like not a cop on the force is like, hey, do you think maybe we should go help the fucking commissioner of the police with this right now? Nah, we'll stand back, looking smooth with our sweet leather jackets.
I wonder if they got those like just from joining the force or what. I would sign up to be a cop just to get one of those.
The tower on the right looks like the Tower of Joy from Game of Thrones, where Jon Snow was born too. Like, what is that doing in the middle of Gotham? I appreciate that we're now going to Westeros for some of our, designs. I like that.
The finale of The Dark Knight kind of happens in a skyscape, in a tower.
Yep. And by the way, during the finale of the good guy bad guy showdown, the bad guy's voice can be heard from anywhere. It turns out.
Yep. That's like a True Detective. I think of when he's in Carcosa at the end. He just hears that guy's voice.
Shout out the Yellow King.
He says, "Nope."
Bob, I need a guy with knives. Here we go. Danny Elfman score. Shout out Danny Elfman again. Perfect circus,
That's sick fuck.
Music. Who, Danny Elfman?
No, it's Joker.
Oh, I was going to say.
yeah.
That's harsh.
Yeah, no, Elfman's a good guy.
Fox.
That's a great talk about like silly comedy moment.
Yeah.
That guy was hidden out there for hours. He's like, I've got the perfect spot.
Yeah.
I guarantee that guy, Bob didn't hire him. Like, that was when Bob was doing the other stuff. The other guys hired that guy.
Bob always looked at that guy like he's a fucking idiot. He's going to jump through the wall one day.
This guy tunes bats up a little bit, though. This guy's the only guy who comes rather close.
He's getting another Joker card. Well, if things went differently.
He's not quite the Buster Douglas of the Joker group. He didn't finish the job completely, but he almost busted.
He shocked the world, yeah.
Classic creepy clown move. The bang flag out of the pistol.
Yep. Which is the hanger of that coat.
Oh, yeah. Rob, post a picture at some point.
I'll throw the picture on the screen now. The hanger of the coat is actually the bang flag.
Goddamn goat.
Every detail was accounted for. This guy is kind of fucking Batman up.
This dude looks like a young, steroided up, angry Ray Charles.
Is he the one with the priest thing?
No.
Because he kind of has a white collar too. Oh, head scissors. Little Hurricane Rana action.
Hurricane Rana, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big time. And that guy fell in the worst way possible too. He nothing broke his fall.
And the the special effects are not cringeworthy. We're not like, oh, geez,
not at all.
So stupid.
The Batwing I thought actually looked amazing. Like especially when they first show it. Which I guess you're at this point, what, 3 years out, 4 years out from Jurassic Park. You're getting there with CGI.
Right. I did not like this at all as a kid.
That's creepy when he's dancing with her. I don't like that.
I do not like our damsel in distress being messed with. But she spots bats and she's just like, I am going to help.
that look from the Joker's hysterical.
He's like, oh my God, I can't fucking believe it.
He's like, I did it. My whole plan. She loves me.
Like a charm. Everything has been worth it. And she can't get enough.
just grab the bow tie.
Is that? Oh my God! Do they really imply that?
Everything is tremendous.
Holy! They kind of just implied that she was gonna blow him.
I mean, if you're gonna distract, a villain,
it's a hell of a plan to distract anyone. But I'm just shocked that they did that. Never noticed that before.
Now, to me, this is a classic superhero, hero versus villain throwdown where they're talking shit to each other the whole time.
Yeah. I love talking shit between punches.
He finds a way to still be a funny dude with the chompers there.
Breaks his hand trying to punch Batman.
Classic. You can't punch Batman in the abs.
No. It's like trying to headbutt a Samoan. That's so good. That's Bobby Heenan right there.
Committed to the bit. Committed to the bit to the very end.
But even in that moment, I mean, he didn't get the job done. He kind of tried to kill the Joker with that punch.
That's true.
Great look. The look of this movie, the vibe. Some movies are not, all-time classics, but they have so much vibe.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got enough vibe, that's all you really need for staying power.
You know what I think about that, bro? When you say that and Spinal Tap comes to mind. Because I tried to show Spinal Tap to Trent like last year, and he was like, I don't know about this. I don't really get it, dude. And I was like, oh, I loved it. I think it's one of those movies that has that vibe where, like, if you're either in or you're out. If you're in, you're going to love it. And if you're out, you're just going to be like, I don't know about that. Joker helicopter. Staple. Classic.
This movie won an Oscar for art direction.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say deserved. I don't know what else was nominated, but I'm picking this one.
Rope ladder.
Marvel's doing the What If cartoon series. A DC one would be so cool. Like, what if the Joker just like kicked Batman off and won here? Like, what does he do next? What if?
Oh, and now you're not going. He gave him the Chaz Palminteri. Now you can't leave. Which, to be fair, he didn't really try to kill him here.
No.
Right?
No. Hooked him up.
Not saying he's not a murdering ass Batman, but
that's on the church or whoever didn't have insurance on the gargoyle. That's why New York City has scaffolding, because the brick fell in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't know the gargoyle's gonna crap out.
No.
To be fair to Batman too, he was probably dying in that helicopter because those guys do not look like they have helicopter licenses. I can't believe that thing is flying. They don't look like they are experienced in the aviation arts.
And that's a wrap for good old Joker.
What a brutal way to go. Like, not even just falling, but having a gargoyle weigh you down like a cinder block.
Oh, boy.
I feel like 80s New York was like 80% gargoyles too. Like,
oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
I don't know if I've ever seen a gargoyle in this city now.
They really ought to throw some scaffolding up around this fucking church, by the way.
Yes.
Did they have gargoyles in Ghostbusters? I know they had like the Gozer statue, but I feel like they had gargoyles.
Yeah, they had gargoyles, and they talked. Right?
Yeah, they came to life.
Yeah.
I love the crushed concrete all around him. Very comic book.
That's comic book.
Comic book.
Definitely. That's a big splash page.
Yep. And he's like, Bob, one day I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna want that laugh track to keep on going. Do me a favor and record something.
that was probably the last thing he thought too. He's like, I shouldn't have fucked up Bob. Like that
Yeah.
was
As he was on his way down, he was like, Bob didn't deserve
Perfect patch of grass.
it.
Commissioner taking all of the credit for none of the work.
Yep.
that's kind of a tough line after a bunch of people died too. Public safety is no longer a laughing matter. It's like, come on, man. A lot of people died tonight. Like, let's hold off on that.
Arliss giving it one last go.
Yep.
I think it's a little pecked.
Friend zoned.
Received a letter from Chewbacca this morning.
And for those that don't know, Mike, do you want to tell people about him actually getting paid for Batman Forever?
Yeah, he had to put in his contract that if they ever reprised the role and made him Two-Face, that he would play the role. And by the time they did it in Forever, they wanted Tommy Lee Jones so bad they bought out his contract. They paid him not to be Two-Face.
That's crazy.
That's Billy D. Williams getting the bag for a movie he wasn't even in.
And now we get a great look here. We've got a signal. Vicki Vale feels the urge to look up for some reason. Looks tremendous. Vicki and the signal, that is.
And that
Alfred
car.
just waiting.
Bottle of champ on ice.
I know. Like, what a guy.
Wet streets, I'm telling you.
Yeah, before every scene, they had a guy with a hose out there, like probably Bob the Goon when he
It was probably Tracy Walton. Like,
yeah.
wet the streets.
Just see Vicki Vale and those hands ripping that champagne bottle.
Bruce hands it to her. He's like, I can't get this jar. Can you get it, honey?
I feel like this is how every Batman movie should end every time, forever. Can we please be scrolling up the sides of the buildings with this Danny Elfman music playing?
You should do a fan edit of every Batman movie where this is just the end.
Iconic shot.
And now a meme. People use that as a meme all the time. You know, they replace the bat symbol with whatever.
I just Googled Kim Basinger as Manhands. And to be fair, there's not a lot of results out of there, but the number one result is from @Fareed Alvi. And he just writes Kim Basinger as Manhands. This is from October 17th, 2014. And multiple people said, I just did Wayne's World 2. Wayne's World 2. I just did the same thing, Wayne's World 2. So I didn't want to know what's going on in Wayne's World 2.
Oh, shit. Man, you ruined her forever for us.
Sorry, boys.
For us and the basement listeners. This has been a blast, guys. I really enjoyed doing this. This was a great one to kick off the series of movie commentaries. I'm glad you picked this, Mike.
Listen, maybe around, since you mentioned it, maybe around Christmas time we should do Returns.
Yes, let's do Returns around Christmas. That'll be our holiday movie. We did Die Hard for, the holidays, and our next nerdy Christmas movie will be Batman Returns. I love that idea.
Oh man, we're gonna be in like deep into post Mando stuff. Our brains are gonna be popping at that point. So that's a great idea.
All right, it's been long enough. If you stuck in there with us throughout that entire commentary, or if you were one of the people who just listened to the podcast without the movie queued up, I know people like doing that. People have tweeted to us and say, I just listened to the commentaries, this podcast. If you stuck in there to the end, past the 2-hour mark, we really appreciate it. That's pretty fucking cool that you hung out and watched this movie with us. We got Prince coming on the credits now, so I'll let you go listen to that song. Mike, thank you. Clem, thank you. And thank you to all of our sponsors. We will see you next week.
Thank you, Uncle Dennis, too.
See ya.